Welcome back, my lovely tribe. It's your girl, Michelle Jones here with another episode of Tribe of Many Nations, of course. So today, as we are trekking through the 31 days of Halloween, that's right, 31 days, yeah. I really wanted to take a moment to talk about some horror movies, especially horror movies that I like, that were based off of real life serial killers. Because why not? I love horror movies. I love researching things about serial killers. So it's kind of like, why not? So let's start off with a movie that I honestly could not get all the way through. I wasn't a huge fan of this movie, but it was good. It was good. Don't get me wrong. It was a good movie. It's just, it didn't mesh well with me. And that is American Psycho. Now, the character in this movie was actually inspired by Ted Bundy, who we know strangled at least 30 women, possibly more. Now, in the article I was reading, supposedly Ted Bundy only murdered prostitutes, but from the documentary I watched, I could have sworn that he mainly picked off college girls. So I'm not entirely sure which one is true. But you can see that both the killer in American Psycho and Ted Bundy had some major struggles with trying to maintain this suave, sophisticated demeanor while being, a totally aggressive psychopath. Now, both of these characters had to struggle against their homicidal tendencies, but I don't say that meaning that Ted Bundy ever actually wanted to stop killing, because I don't think he ever wanted to stop killing. I just think that he struggled to hide it because he didn't want to get caught. He was very intelligent about it. It's just, I don't think he ever was capable of any kind of remorse for what he did. Then we have the movie Zodiac, which obviously is based off of the Zodiac killer, one of the most infamous cases in American history by far. In fact, 50 plus years later, we still don't really know who the Zodiac killer was. The only thing we do know is that this man shot or stabbed about 37 people. Have y'all ever seen Wolf Creek? The killer in Wolf Creek was actually based off of a real-life murderer by the name of Ivan Milat, and I'm probably butchering that, but it's okay, who was part of the infamous backpacker murders in Australia. Now, in the backpacker murders, basically 7 people were stabbed and or shot. So that's definitely enough to be classified as a serial killer. Next up, we have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and obviously that was inspired by Ed Gein. Many movies were inspired by that man, but specifically the whole cannibalism and the kind of wearing masks made of body parts and stuff like that, those specific things were taken from real life Ed Gein, who actually did those things. Now, Ed Gein strangled at least 30 women, but it could have been more, and I read somewhere that he may have actually shot and killed 2 women, but I don't know. Another story about Ed Gein was that he was completely obsessed with his mother, which is also why he inspired Psycho. Now, in Psycho, which is possibly my favorite classic horror film of all time, we get to meet Norman Bates, who obviously has some mommy issues, but so did Ed Gein. And yet another one of my favorite films in all of the horror genre that was inspired by Ed Gein was Silence of the Lambs. The Buffalo Bill character specifically was inspired not only by Ed Gein due to the whole building a woman body suit. Ed Gein actually did that. But Buffalo Bill was also inspired by Ted Bundy. If you notice in the film, whenever he's hobbling along trying to pick up the chair with the cast and that's classic Ted Bundy, if we're going to be honest. And Buffalo Bill was also inspired by a third killer by the name of Gary Heidnik, who apparently confined and tortured 6 women, killing 2 of them. Now, I know today's video has been really short, but the last video I want to talk to you guys about that was may have been inspired by a real-life murderer is none other than Halloween. I always thought Halloween was simply a pure fictional piece, but if you research it, Michael Myers has a lot in common with Edmund Kemper. The simple fact that they both were children when they killed their family members. And apparently Edmund Kemper had a very similar large stature and kind of this very demeaning not demeaning, intimidating largeness about him. Now, obviously, Edmund Kemper had a little bit more social interaction than just, putting a mask on and being quiet all the time. But a huge difference between Michael Myers and Edmund Kemper is the fact that Kemper actually engaged in necrophilia. So, I didn't think it was possible to freak me out more than Michael Myers, but good job, Kemper. So I know that there are tons of movies out there that are inspired by real life events based off of like Jack the Ripper cases and all sorts of different cases. What are some of y'all's favorite movies that are based off of real life serial killers? I want to know down in the comments below, mainly so that I can, beef up my horror movie collection, but also because I really am genuinely interested. What are the kind of movies out there that are good? Don't be putting any trash movies down in the comments. Good movies only. Good movies only. But be sure to comment down below your favorite horror movie that is based off of a real life serial killer incident. And be sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, guys. I know today was a super short video, but I have so much to do and so little time to do it in. I'm about to start a new job, so woohoo. Woo! Other than that, I love you guys, and I will see you all tomorrow for what? Day 20? 19? Whatever day it is. Love y'all. Peace.